Cool. All right. Yeah. Hello. My name's John. And I wanted to show off some of these tweaks I've been making to the Ciat-Lonbarde Jurassic organ paper circuit. So that's what this breadboard here is. Or I guess breadboards. It's kind of a mess of wires right now. But yeah, so at its core, it has the basic functions of the Jurassic organ, and then I added some CV inputs and some other kind of tweaks that I'll show in this video. So yeah, first, kind of the basic way that the Jurassic organ works. So we've got 3 buttons here, and they act as a binary keyboard. So we've got and we can play 7 notes, and then there's a kind of 8th all buttons off note. So we've got 1 when button 1's pressed. The red note indicates the button state, and then the green indicates which note. So that's 1, then 2. 3 is when button 1 and 2 is pressed. Then 4 is just button 3, and then 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So kind of fun and interesting way to kind of play notes. You can kind of hear here the way that the decay circuit works is that if you release the button before the note's finished decaying, it will go back to whatever note that was based on the other button. So we've got kind of going from 0 to note 4. You can hear it kind of trills. Here we'll keep button 1 pressed, and then kind of go to 5 because 1 and 3 is 5. It kind of trills between those. The decay, this is the X resistor in the actual paper circuit, is a trimmer right now. So you can kind of see it goes from pretty silent to these, kind of much longer decayed notes. And then you've got the knobs which control the pitch. So we've got these this knob here, and then this knob here does the 0 note, and then note 1 here is this one and this one. So one thing I did differently than the actual paper circuit is I didn't include the series resistors for their trimmers. Here they're pods, basically the same thing. But you can hear that when it gets close to 0 resistance with the pot, it gets pretty chaotic. So that can be cool for like kind of accent notes. And another thing I did here that is different than the paper circuit is I added gate inputs for the 3 notes. So we've got here I'll show kind of LFOs controlling that. So this is button 1. So you can see it's as if I'm pressing button 1 to this LFO here. And we can kind of vary the pulse width of what the note is by changing the wave shape of the LFO. These are unipolar LFOs, or by changing this threshold control. So basically the way the threshold works is once the gate signal goes above whatever this knob sets the voltage to, it triggers the button. So I can kind of go past the peak of the LFO, and it basically mutes the CV. And then if I just have it very slightly going over the edge, and I have like a wave shape, like a triangle wave. You can hear it's just that tiny little peak that's making the note on. And then something interesting here is the button XORs with it. So you can think about that as basically inverting the signal. So if I hold the button down, it's going to go from being almost all the time off to being almost all the time on. So I'll show that. And so that just gives you kind of a way to play the sequences. So I've got, I'll make some LFOs controlling the other buttons. Yep, so that's kind of how that works. I think it will be more fun when there's not a bunch of wires in the way, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's how that works. Now let's talk about some of these CV inputs. So first, I'll take these off. First, we've got CV over pitch. So there is the hairy cap here. If you can see it, it's like a little white film cap. That I'm going to have on a switch on the PCB to kind of a bass and then a treble and then like a higher pitch one for heterodyning kind of ultrasonic things. And yeah, the pitch knob sort of it's working with a 2164 VCA chip to vary the current to the kind of oscillator that is set up with the kind of the core of the circuit. I guess that's not the best way of explaining it, but you know, what can you do? So yeah, we've got, I've already got some cables. So the pitch is the yellow one. So yeah, if I do an LFO, and let me do one for the note too, just so it kind of goes on and off. I've got a manual offset control. I'm still trying to tweak the overall like response of that. And then because it kind of, you know, can go. It can go pretty low and pretty high. This is kind of the more bass capacitor, I think. And then here's kind of an attenuverter for the CV. So this is a unipolar LFO. So it will either make the note go up, or I'm gonna change the offset to be. So that's kind of in the middle where it kind of mutes it, and then it goes down. Oh, sorry. There we go. It goes up, and then it goes down. Yeah, that's how that basically works. Let me show the decay kind of CV here. So basically, this is a little more experimental. The decay works that because that X resistant is kind of varying the current going into the circuit, going into these transistors here, which control the envelope. I don't know the exact reason they're doing it, but yeah, I've kind of made it so that the current can be varied with two things, which is a voltage kind of going in, and then a JFET, which is sort of a varying current amount, both controlled, by CV. The voltage, is the CV through an op amp to get the gain scaling right. But yeah, let me. It's very experimental. The controls kind of work together in weird ways. I'm just going to mess with the offsets of both of them right now. First, the voltage. You can make it so that the note, instead of it having a decay, it'll just always be on. So let me fix that a little bit. Yeah, and then I'll make that a little less. There we go. Something a little closer to, I don't know, not so crazy. And yeah, and then the so this is kind of like under biasing the voltage, and then here I've got the CV there, or yeah, this one's the voltage and this is the JFET. So this will be kind of the varying resistance. So let me get it to where it's right on the edge. Yeah, so there's kind of a crazy phantom note. That's something kind of these controls at certain positions will do. And then they also kind of can act as like a cutoff almost, like on a low pass filter. So yeah, a lot of times I'll just try to run random modulation into these, and they have attenuverters too, to kind of make weird things happen. So we've got green is the voltage. And then, let's see, black. So that is, yeah. Sorry, just trying to get my bearings. Yeah, so right now it's kind of acting like its own envelope, and I can also have a note going. That's the manual decay control there. Yeah, and all these can go up in the audio rate too. Oh, let's see. I can I'll plug the JFET into the oh. Maybe I'll plug the pitch into the more audio rate as well. Yeah, pretty crazy. So here we've kind of got a little bit of a sequence going while changing these CVs, and it can create some pretty chaotic patterns. Let me. Yep. It's a little crazy. Yeah, so that's kind of some of the basic things that this this circuit does. One other thing I wanted to show is this timbre switch. So we've got this cap here, and it's in its default position now. So I'm going to remove it. It might get kind of loud, so just be prepared. So that gives it more of a like kind of higher harmonic timbre. So the standard is more like a triangle. This is more like a sawtooth. I'm gonna see if I can get it a little less crazy. And now, so back to what it was. And then I also have this kind of pulse width of kind of old video game mode. Yeah, so if you turn the decay back, it creates this, yeah, I don't know, kind of tiny pulse width square wave sound. And that will decay, or that doesn't decay. It shouldn't, at least. Let's see. So, and that'll be on like a three-way switch on the board. Trying to think. There's a slew cap. Let me see if I have one around. So if I make these notes really, let me put this back at standard. Really fast. This decay can sometimes kind of overload the circuit. I don't know if it's doing it right now. But there'll be a little switch so you can change the capacitor size to a larger one if that happens. Might not really be doing much at all right now. Yeah, I'll have to figure out another way to show that, but yeah, that's basically how this thing works.